I mean,
whatever else will come with
that's
it.
kind of happening right now with the whole COVID situation, where like I think 40% of the working population is out of work, kind of right now. And so and automation is like, now's the perfect time for all the coders to keep coding, right? All the, like, Tesla's definitely like on, like, working on it right now, right, to
Yeah.
get those self-driving cars, self-driving
Yep.
Ubers. And my worry is with all this COVID stuff that people will want to seek less human interaction because of the less spread of the disease, right? So that might just, I'm worried when we come out of this COVID situation, we're just going to come out in a whole new world. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now,
At least
here's another thing we
also
want to
going to Ali's situation.
go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Ali, you were mentioning how like maybe there's like a way to slow it down, or maybe not go that direction. My worry is
start smashing computers.
well, you can do that.
Take a
You can
2x4.
sure you do that here in the States. Let's say we did that in the States, right? Like we stopped automation,
Right.
And then like China's still automating. At like, it's like they're still going at it very strong. A lot of Asian countries are going at it very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
like
competition.
it's
So what do we
competition at
have
the
to
end of
do
the day.
with
And
them?
if you're not ahead of the game, you're
My idea, and I mentioned it in the essay, was that we have to democratize AI, and that's not an original idea by any means. But my worry is that if certain corporations have copyrights or patents on artificial intelligence systems that are able to replace entire industries, then all of a sudden they have like a hyper monopoly that's just unbreakable. And people like Jeff Bezos will be like multi-trillionaires, and you'll have just like an upper, super upper class, and then the rest of us will be like in the slums, and we'll just be like, would
Bezos even want that?
I don't know.
Listen,
I mean,
I think
it is in human
what's the point
nature.
of being the king if everyone else is like dead?
It is
maybe
in
he
human
enjoys his, life in the upper echelon, and he's perfectly content looking down upon the unwashed masses, and he has him and his friends up top, and
let me just
everybody
say
else
this.
is just there to serve him appetizers.
Greed is in human nature. If a man has a mountain of gold, he would want another. Trust me. Like, greed is like, who wouldn't want to be like the richest person on earth, regardless of everyone else. Like, if you're going to sit here and worry about the 7 billion other people on earth, you're just going to slow yourself down, right? Let's be honest. You're just going to slow yourself down. When you're studying for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not studying for anyone else. When you're graduating for yourself. You're not graduating for anyone else. Right? So when you're getting richer, you're getting richer for yourself. You're not getting richer for everyone else. It's not like Jeff Bezos is going to one day come out and say, hey, 7 billion people, here's some money.
Well, what about, sorry.
No, I was going to say that my issue with Jeff Bezos in particular is that he has half his workforce is supplemented by government assistance, and the Walton family that runs Walmart, they also have the same problem with their workforce. So a lot of these people just don't have a big concern with living wages and treating their workers like they could. I know they have enough, liquid assets to be able to pay these people, but they want to run, especially Amazon, for tax purposes. They like to run at a yearly deficit so they can avoid federal taxes. And the cost of that is they treat their workers incredibly poorly with their tight hours and low pay. But on the point of greed, I think Jeff Bezos might think that he just knows better what to do with the money and the resources that he collects. And maybe him and a lot of billionaires come together and think, we know the appropriate way to distribute resources, and it's our altruism that will basically improve the world, and our inventions that will improve the world, and it's up to us. They see themselves as sort of like Promethean gods. I don't know. I'm not his psychoanalyst, but I think the way he treats his workers is definitely problematic, and it might be tied to a sort of inflated image he has of himself. Not to say that he hasn't accomplished impressive things, but the way that he's gone about it hasn't been strictly ethical.
Well, the problem with our society nowadays, and any society you go to have money equates to having power. So having money is equal to having power. There's a very old saying that goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Right? There's no one on earth that wouldn't be easily corrupted with all the power and all that stuff, right? So, like, are we comfortable with having people having all these, like, different, powers and stuff? I don't know.
Well, I can't speak too highly to Jeff Bezos, but if you look at the two other richest people in the world, you got Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, both of which have pledged and signed contracts to give away the majority of their wealth after they die, and are currently very philanthropic and giving away large portions of their wealth. So I guess I think that there are definitely some people who I think are very much corrupted by the amount of wealth that they have. I do think that there are some people who have realized that, hold on, this maybe it is I've got a little too much, and I should give. I shouldn't really try to hold on to all of it.
Well, it all happened so quickly, right? The whole technology, the whole like the worth of data just skyrocketed. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg ever would have imagined in his teen days that just making Facebook would be able to influence elections, right? And
Think about how much power he has just politically, divided from his bank account. I mean, he is in charge of the world's largest social media platform. His business decisions directly affects the democracy of the country.
How so?
Before we move on to this, because
break it down a little bit.
There was just this one thing I wanted to say. You talked about these people wanting to give away all their money, right? When they signed off that they want to give a majority of their money away when they die. I lagged, didn't I? Did I lag?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Let's take for example. Let's take for example. Who owns Microsoft? Bill Gates, according to Ali the Antichrist, right? That's a shout out to episode.
He did,
or he used to.
Okay.
But yes.
How much do you think he makes in a day?
I would go with in the realms of near $1 billion.
Let me say.
Well, it's hard to say because Microsoft's value has doubled in the past year, and most of his money it's just rising because most of his money is Microsoft stock, and because it doubled in the past year, it's sort of like his wealth doubled in the past year. But had Microsoft gone down by a lot, he probably would have made a lot less. He probably would have lost money in the last year.
So he makes roughly 11,000 a day, right? Bill Gates. This is a perfect example. Richest man on earth. Let's remove all his money.
I would not. No way. No way.
He's got to make way more than that.
He's making 100,000 a year. That's nothing.
No, he's making $4 billion. $4 billion a year. Say he gave away all his money, right?
11,000.
Roughly speaking, 11,000. Sure. Let's say we give away all his money, right? How long do you think it's going to take him to bring it all back?
Well, it's not in stock, right? So it's like if he gives it all out, then it's gone. It's like, I don't know.
Remove the stock issue also, and all that
I'm
stuff.
Just looking at this now. I think he makes. I'm pretty sure he makes 11 million a day. Just to as an amendment.
Oh,
11 million.
I left out the last.
11 million.
I left out the last 3
wrong zeros.
Yeah, I left out the last zeros. So no. Thank you for correcting.
3 zeros.
Because that pushes. that pushes what I'm trying to.
Thank you.
Ali, don't ever sign checks, man.
It's okay. I'll have my accountant do it for me. Anyways.